The news spread through the galaxy like a shockwave, from the glowing oceans of the Sarin worlds to the frozen Mayan colonies of Titan. Every screen flickered at the same time with the symbol of the Galactic Council, a golden star surrounded by 12 silver rings. Billions stopped what they were doing. Workers lowered their tools. Pilots paused their flights. Even pirates hiding in the dark zones turned on their receivers. A message this big only meant one thing. Something dangerous was coming. Commander Rhea Morgan, stationed on the moonbase, Helios 9, watched the broadcast from the command deck. Her dark uniform reflected the blue light from the hologram. She stood perfectly still, hands folded behind her back, but her heart beat hard in her chest. Council broadcasts never brought good news for humans. The High Chancellor, a tall insectoid alien with polished armor plates, stepped into view. His many eyes glittered like black crystals. "Citizens of the galaxy," he began, voice cold and heavy. "Today, we must protect our future. We must protect our order. After a long investigation, the Council has reached a decision." A long pause. Everyone held their breath. Human war tactics are now illegal. Gasps exploded across every world. Even the machines on Helios 9 seemed to stop humming for a moment. The Chancellor continued. "Humans have proven themselves unpredictable, dangerous, and too skilled in conflict. Their battle methods endanger peace across our worlds. From this day forward, all human combat training, strategies, and doctrines are forbidden." Rhea felt the temperature in the room drop. "Effective immediately," the Chancellor said. "Humans are restricted from high-level security roles. All military research involving human tactics will be shut down. Any person, human or alien, caught studying these methods will face severe punishment." The hologram faded into the Council's crest. The broadcast ended. Rhea slowly exhaled, but the air felt thin. A low murmur filled the deck as officers exchanged nervous looks. Some human workers stared at the floor, afraid. Others clenched their fists. Rhea's second-in-command, Lieutenant Son Halley, approached her. "Commander, what does this mean for us?" Rhea kept her face calm. "It means the Council is scared." "Scared of what?" "That," she said quietly, "is what worries me." Helios 9 was a peaceful outpost mostly. It handled deep space traffic, cargo scanning, and occasional pirate sightings. But lately, strange orders had been coming in from the Council Titan security, restricted information sharing, and silent background checks on humans. Rhea had served in the Council fleet for 12 years. She knew their patterns. This new band didn't feel like protection. It felt like preparation. And when governments prepared things in secret, it meant danger was close. Rhea returned to her private office, a small room overlooking the white plains of the moon. She removed her gloves, sat at her desk, and activated her data console. The Council's ban had already deleted half her access privileges. Her screen flashed. Access revoked. Human tactical files sealed. She clenched her jaw. Humans had fought alongside aliens for decades. They had saved Council worlds during pirate invasions, rogue AI uprisings, and border wars. Now they were labeled too dangerous? It didn't make sense. Rhea tapped the console again, trying to reopen old files. Another error. Another denial. Then a soft beep. A new message appeared on her screen. Not from the Council. Not from any known military channel. Unknown source. Encrypted priority file. Decrypt? Rhea froze. No one simply sent a commander an encrypted file of this level. It was illegal. It was dangerous. It was possibly a trap. But the timing, right after the ban, was too perfect. She pressed the ECRYPT. Lines of code raced across the screen. The symbol of the Council appeared, cold, silver, and stern. Then the image cracked open like shattered glass. A hidden video file loaded. Rhea stared as the footage began. It showed a long, dark room, a training hall. Not human-alien architecture, tall curved walls, glowing silver tiles. Council generals. Training. But the movements, they weren't alien. They were human formations. Human combat drills. Human reflex patterns. Even a simulation of the famous Ghostline flank. A move so unpredictable that even human AI struggled to copy it. Rhea leaned forward. Breath caught in her throat. The council hadn't banned human tactics because they feared them. They banned them so only they could use them. Her console blinked. Another message popped up. They are hiding more. Find Emmy. Coordinates followed deep in council space. Rhea felt a jolt of adrenaline. This wasn't just evidence. This was a cry for help. But who sent it? Why risk everything to warn her? She stood and locked her office door. Her mind raced through possibilities. A rebel? A council insider? A spy? The coordinates pointed to a place no human should be able to access. Inside the council's main headquarters, Rhea's pulse quickened. Someone inside the most secure building in the galaxy had reached out to her personally, and that meant two things. One, the conspiracy was bigger than anyone knew. Two, whoever sent the message was in terrible danger. Rhea looked again at the video of aliens training with forbidden human tactics. This wasn't preparation for peace. This was preparation for war. She closed the screen. Her decision made. Rhea Morgan would find the truth, even if she had to step into the heart of the council itself to expose it. And somewhere, deep inside that building, someone was waiting for her. Someone the council wanted very, very quiet. Moonbase Helios 9 entered its night cycle. But Commander Rhea Morgan didn't sleep. The encrypted message pulsed in her mind like a heartbeat. They are hiding more. Find me. Coordinates. Council headquarters. No human had been inside that building in 7 years. Not since the council began restructuring security access. Humans were slowly pushed out one row at a time, one door at a time, until they were barely allowed near the lower halls. Rhea knew the risks. But she also knew something darker. The council didn't just fear human tactics. They wanted to own them. She opened a private channel to Lieutenant Soren Hawley, her second in command, but hesitated. If she told him everything, he would be forced by regulation to report it. And the council listened to every channel these days. No, she couldn't drag him into this. Not yet. Instead, she packed lightly. A compressed oxygen pack, a stealth pattern jacket, and a small pulse pistol illegal for humans to carry near council space. She tucked the encrypted file into a sealed drive. Then she slipped out of her office and took the silent elevator to Docking Bay 3. Helios 9 was quiet at night. Dim lights. Soft hums. Occasional distant footsteps. Rhea moved quickly but calmly, like a shadow with purpose. Her shuttle, a small gray vessel called the Sparrow, sat at the end of the dock. She climbed in, tapped a false maintenance route into the control panel, and launched into the black dot as Helios 9 shrank behind her. Rhea let out a breath she'd been holding for hours. She was officially alone. 2 hours into her journey. An alert flashed on her console. Unauthorized signal approaching. Vector. Unknown. Identity. Unknown. Rhea grabbed the controls. Not pirates. Not this far in. She muttered. Her ship shuddered as a small craft burst out of the dark, slowing just enough to match her speed. A transmission blinked. Incoming message. Accept. This could be a trap. Or it could be the informant. Rhea accepted. A fuzzy figure appeared. A tall, thin alien with pale blue skin covered in faint glowing lines. His eyes, wide and dark, darted nervously around as if someone could be watching him. "My name is Vecker," he whispered. "You don't know me, but I know who you are." Rhea didn't relax. Why send me an encrypted file? Why risk your life? Vecker swallowed. Because I work for the Council, and they are planning something terrible. Something much bigger than a ban. Explain. No, not here. They are tracking every Council ship, even ones that look harmless. We must meet somewhere quiet, somewhere dark. He sent a location, an abandoned cum relay floating in a forgotten corner of space, far outside normal patrol routes. Rhea knew the place. A dead station no one had touched in years. Why contact a human? She asked. Vecker hesitated. Because humans think differently. Because you notice things others ignore. And because I fear your people are the next target. Rhea felt a cold knot form in her stomach. Meet me, Vecker whispered. Before they erase everything. The transmission cut. Hours later, Rhea approached the abandoned relay station. Its metal skeleton floated motionless against the starfield. No lights, no signals, no signs of life, just a ghost in the dark. She docked carefully, slipped inside through the old maintenance hatch, and pulled out her pistol. The station smelled of dust and old machine oil. Loose wires hung from the ceiling like vines. Faint echoes moved through the empty corridors. Rhea scanned the darkness. Vecker? She whispered. A soft tap echoed behind her. She spun, weapon ready. It's only me. Vecker stepped into the faint light. His breathing was shaky, his hands trembling as he clutched a data tablet. I brought proof, he said quietly. More than before. Show me. He activated the tablet. Rhea's breath caught. Dozens of files appeared, images, videos, documents. Council training camps using human strategy markers. Alien soldiers practicing human infiltration methods. Council war rooms simulating battles using human maneuvers. Maps showing targeted human colonies marked in red. Rhea whispered, This is a military buildup. Yes, Vecker said. And the Council will blame humans for everything when the time comes. Why? Vecker's voice lowered. Because something is coming. Something they don't want the galaxy to know. They believe humans are the only ones who can counter it. But instead of asking for help, they want control. Rhea stared at the screen. So they outlaw us publicly and copy us secretly. Vecker nodded. Humans scare them. Not because of power, because of creativity. You fight like chaos made of muscle. Before Rhea could respond, a loud metallic groan echoed through the station. Vecker's eyes widened. No, they tracked me. The floor vibrated. Lights flared through cracks in the station walls. Council strike teams. Heavily armed, silent, fast, Rhea grabbed Vecker by the arm. Move! They sprinted down the corridor as the hatch behind them exploded inward. Shadows poured in Council enforcers wearing armor painted in the Council's cold silver colors. Shots rang out. Sparks exploded from the walls. Rhea fired back, her pulse pistol sending bright bursts down the hall. Vecker stumbled, terrified, but Rhea dragged him toward the emergency escape pod. They'll kill us, he cried. They'll kill everyone if we don't stop them, Rhea said. Another blast shook the station. The enforcers were closing in fast. Rhea shoved Vecker into the pod. Go. What about you? I'll cover you. Just send the files to every secure human channel you can. The pod door slid shut. Vecker pounded the glass. Rhea, they will not let you escape. Rhea gave him a hard look. They'll have to try. The pod launched. Council troops stormed the corridor. Rhea turned to face them. Pistol raised, eyes cold. She finally understood why the Council feared human tactics. Because humans never back down. Not even in the dark, not even alone. The abandoned relay station burned behind Rhea as she launched her shuttle back into open space. Flames and debris drifted into the black like dying stars. She kept her hands tight on the controls, eye sharp, breath steady. Vecker's escape pod had made it out safely. She had seen it vanish into the void like a small spark of hope. Now it was her turn to stay alive. A warning alarm screamed from her console. Council interceptors detected distance. 30,000 km and Celoasiagiris. Jaw tightened. They were fast, too fast. Council interceptors were sleek arrow-shaped ships built for hunting down fugitives, pirates. And now her. "Come on, Sparrow," she muttered. "Don't fail me now." The small shuttle vibrated as she forced it into a steep dive toward a region of space marked in red on her star map. The dark zones. No one entered the dark zones unless they were desperate. The area was filled with shipwrecks, stray mines, electromagnetic storms, and old battle debris drifting like metal ghosts. But it also had one advantage. Council ships avoided it. Rhea angled the shuttle toward the border. The stars ahead flickered inside a swirling mist of dark particles. It looked like space itself was bruised. The interceptors grew closer. Distance, 20,000 km. Locking Rhea's engines roared. The hull rattled so hard she feared it would split in half. But she forced the ship forward. She crossed into the dark zones. Instantly, the console glitched. Static buzzed. Navigation flickered. Behind her, the council ships slowed. They hovered at the border, but did not enter. Rhea allowed herself one small breath of relief. They wouldn't follow, not here. But that didn't mean the dark zones were safe. Far from it. Inside the dark zones, everything felt wrong. There were no clear star patterns. No safe routes. Just drifting shadows of old wars. Dead ships floated everywhere, broken, rusted, hollow. Some were human designs from battles long forgotten. Others were alien war cruisers split open like giant metal beasts. Strange whispers of electromagnetic noise filled the comm system. Like faint voices echoing through a graveyard, Rhea slowed her ship and scanned for a place to hide and repair the Sparrow's overheating. Thrusters. Her console beeped. Weakly. Anomaly detected. Power signature. Small vessel in the Yerba wire. Rhea frowned. A pirate? Or something worse? She steered cautiously toward the signal. Soon, a dim silhouette appeared, a small vessel wedged between two broken battleships. It was not a council craft. It seemed human-built but old, patched with mismatched metal plates. Rhea circled it slowly. Before she could decide whether to dock, her comm system crackled. "Identify yourself." The voice was deep, rough, and carried the tone of someone who didn't trust strangers. Rhea replied, "Commander Rhea Morgan. Council forces are after me. I need repairs." Silence. Then the voice answered, lower and colder than before. "Dock, and bring no weapons." The channel cut. Rhea didn't argue. She docked the Sparrow beside the patched vessel and stepped into its airlock with her hands raised. The inner door slid open. Standing, there was a tall man with silver hair, broad shoulders, and a face lined from years of battles. His eyes were sharp and dangerous. A human. He wore armor with faded insignia symbols from long-gone human factions. "Welcome to the dark," he said. "My name is Silas." Rhea lowered her hands. "You're human." "Unfortunately," Silas replied with a dry smile. "But out here, that's not always a blessing." He motioned for her to follow. The interior of his ship was cluttered with old weapons, star maps, repair tools, and crates of stolen supplies. It looked like a vessel held together by stubborn willpower alone. "You're a pirate?" Rhea asked. Silas laughed. "That's the council's word. I prefer survivor." He led her into a small control room filled with flickering screens. "Now," he said, leaning against the console, "tell me why council interceptors chased you into my backyard." Rhea told him everything. The ban, The encrypted file, the footage, the meeting with Vecker, and the secret training camps. Silas listened without blinking. When she finished, he nodded slowly. "I've seen signs of this," Silas said. "Ships moving in strange patterns. Quiet disappearances. Secret buildups. You think the Council is preparing for war?" "No," Silas replied. "I think they're preparing for something worse." He walked to a locked metal chest, opened it, and took out a small projection device. A hologram appeared that it showed a swirling cloud of metallic insects, moving like a living storm eating entire planets, tearing through fleets, leaving behind dead space. Rhea's blood ran cold. "What is that?" "The Null Swarm," Silas said. "A machine hive born from somewhere outside our known galaxy. It destroys everything it touches." Rhea stared at the nightmare storm. "And the Council knows?" "Of course," Silas said. "But they don't trust the galaxy to unite. They want control. If the Null Swarm arrives, they will blame humanity. Then use your tactics to fight back under their rule." Rhea felt anger rise inside her. "They want to use us like tools." Silas nodded. "And kill us afterward." Before Rhea could respond, the ship shook violently. Red alarms blared. "Incoming vessel's identity. Unknown multiple Sionte," Silas cursed. "They found us." Rhea's eyes widened. "The Council?" Silas checked the scanner. "No," he said grimly. "Worse." The screen zoomed in. Dozens of dark ships drifted toward them, silent, cold, unmarked, like metal predators. Rhea whispered, "Who are they?" Silas turned to her. "They're not Council. They're not human. And they're not friendly." He grabbed a rifle and tossed her a spare weapon. "Get ready, Commander. It's time to find out who else wants you dead." The dark ships closed in with eerie silence. They had no lights, no markings, no heat signatures, just cold metal drifting through the void like hungry shadows. Rhea felt her heartbeat thump once, hard, as the scanner flashed red. Silas slammed a thick fist on the console. "They're not supposed to be this far into the dark zones." Rhea grabbed the side rail for balance as the mystery ships tightened their formation. "Who are they?" Silas shook his head. "Rogue collectors. Scavenger clans. Broken machines. A mix of everything. Out here, nothing stays dead for long." He pointed to the central, jagged-looking vessel leading the group. "That one belongs to a clan leader called Wrathcore. He smells weakness like blood." Rhea scanned the vessels. "Why are they coming for us? They don't even know who I am." Silas gave her a grim smile. "Oh, they know you're human. That's enough." Before she could ask more, the ship jerked violently. Impact. Hull breach. Deck 4. Rhea steadied herself. "They're boarding us?" Silas loaded a heavy rifle with practiced ease. "They always board. It's personal for them." The lights flickered. Metal claws scraped across the hull. Something growled through the ventilation pipes, too loud to be natural. "Stay behind me," Silas said. Rhea raised her pulse pistol. "Not happening." Silas gave her a quick glance, half surprise, half respect. "Fine, but if something tries to bite you, shoot first and question later." He kicked open the door to the lower deck. The hallway was dark, except for the emergency lights flashing red. Smoke wafted from broken pipes. The air smelled like burning plastic and rusted weapons. A shadow moved. Silas fired without hesitation. A metallic creature screamed as sparks exploded from its body, half organic, half machine, its limbs patched with welded plates. Rhea fired too, hitting another creature crawling on the ceiling. It fell with a crash, twitching like a dying insect. Silas growled. Wrathcore rebuilt his fighters from scrap and dead soldiers. He calls them the Returned. Rhea didn't look away from the corridor. "And why do they want us?" "Because you're valuable," Silas said. Humans sell high in the dark zones, too high. She didn't like the way he said that. Another wave of creatures charged. The fight was messy, loud, and close. Rhea moved fast, shooting with precision, using tight angles and human reflexes. Silas fought like a hammer, every shot powerful, every blow brutal. When the hallway fell silent again, bodies littered the floor. Silas wiped sweat off his forehead. We needed to get to the command deck. If Rathcore boarded, he'll be heading there. Rhea nodded and followed him up the rumbling stairwell. As they reached the deck, the bulkhead door suddenly exploded inward. Standing in the smoke was Rathcore himself, tall, hulking, and wrapped in armor made from broken starship plating. His eyes glowed faint blue. His voice was deep and unsettling. "Silas," the creature hissed. "You keep interesting company." Rhea recognized his tone instantly, someone who liked the chase more than the prize. Silas tightened his grip on his rifle. "Back off, Rath." Rathcore laughed, a low growling sound. "You know the rules. Anything in the dark zones is up for taking. And this human, she is special." His glowing eyes turned to Rhea. "You carry something the Council wants hidden," he said. "That makes you valuable to them. And dangerous to me." Rhea raised her pistol. "You're not taking anything." Rathcore tilted his head. "Brave. Humans always are. That's why your kind burns so brightly before dying." Silas stepped forward. "You're not touching her." Rathcore lunged. Silas shoved Rhea aside and fired a burst of high-impact bullets. Rathcore staggered but didn't fall. The creature slammed Silas against the wall with unnatural strength. Rhea fired directly at Rathcore's spine. Sparks erupted. The creature roared and swung a massive claw toward her. She ducked, rolled, and shot again, hitting a weak point in his armor. This time, Rathcore dropped to one knee. "Enough." The creature snarled. "Take her, and you invite war with every scavenger clan in the dark zones." Silas grabbed a metal pipe and struck Rathcore across the skull with a bone-breaking crack. Rathcore collapsed. Breathing heavily, Silas said, "War it is." Rhea offered him a hand. "You okay?" "Fine, okay," he muttered. "Come on. We don't have long." They sealed the door and returned to the control room. Silas slumped into the pilot's seat and wiped blood from his cheek. "We need to leave. Rathcore won't stay down for long." Rhea sat beside him. "Where do we go?" Silas exhaled slowly, the weight of years settling in his eyes. "To the one place the Council refuses to send ships. The one place they fear losing more than anything." He pulled up a star map. A point flashed on the far edge of the galaxy, surrounded by warning symbols and restricted zones. "The Outer Ring Watchtower," Silas said, "where the first signs of the Null Swarm were found." Rhea stared at the point on the map. "You think the swarm is coming soon?" Silas looked at her with a seriousness she had never seen before. "I think," he said, "it's already here." Commander Rhea Morgan had been in dangerous battles before. She had stood on burning ground, heard the scream of enemy ships, and survived ambush that killed entire squads. But nothing compared to the kind of fear she felt as she entered the Council's secret research station orbiting the dead star known as Null-47. It was not fear of an enemy she could see. It was fear of what she did not yet understand. The shuttle door hissed open. A long, empty corridor stretched ahead. Dim lights, metal walls, and silence so thick it felt alive. "Stay alert," Rhea whispered to her team. Lieutenant Jace nodded and raised his scanner. "No life signs. No movement." It's like this place was evacuated in a hurry. But Rhea knew that wasn't true. People had been here recently. She saw a half-eaten tray of food left in a small cafeteria they passed. A chair was knocked over near a console. Someone's jacket lay on the ground like they had dropped it while running. Running from what? That question kept echoing in her mind. The deeper they went, the stranger everything became. The walls changed smooth metal, turning into plates engraved with patterns similar to human tactical symbols. Not full maps, but fragments. Almost like the council scientists were trying to rewrite the tactics in their own language. Then they found it. Room 47. The door was cracked open. Lights flickering inside. Jace pushed it gently. The room was huge, filled with holograms of battles. All human battles. The Siege of Europa. The Red Sands Offensive. The Orion Defensive Line. Every major conflict humanity had survived. And every hologram had notes beside it. Council notes. Look, said Ensign Lyra, pointing at a glowing panel. This one explains how humans break enemy morale by acting unpredictable. Another showed the human tactic of using smaller fire teams to outmaneuver bigger armies. Another describes psychological warfare techniques humans used to confuse elite alien soldiers. The council wasn't just studying humans. They were learning how to become humans in war. Rhea stepped forward, eyes scanning the screens. They banned our tactics because they feared them. But that wasn't enough. They wanted to take them for themselves. And they don't want anyone to know, Jace added. That's why everyone here is gone. Rhea felt something cold crawl up her spine. No, not gone. Hiding. As she spoke, every hologram in the room suddenly shut off. Darkness swallowed them. A warning siren echoed through the station. Intruder detected. Defense mode activated. Red lights began flashing. Commander, Jace said carefully, I think we triggered something. The floor vibrated under their boots slow. Heavy thuds approaching from the hallway. Positions. Rhea ordered. But before they could even aim their weapons, the door slammed shut, sealing them inside. Screens blinked back on, but now they showed something. Different. Not past battles. Not. Human tactics. A live feed. Of themselves. Camera somewhere in the corner captured their every move and projected it on the screen. Every angle. Every detail. Like they were test subjects. What is this? Lyra whispered. Rhea's jaw tightened. A trap. Suddenly, the hologram shifted again. This time, they displayed simulations predicting what Rhea's team would do next. Every movement, every possible order she might give, played out in red holographic lines. They're analyzing us in real time, Jace said. They want to see human decision-making under stress. Them. Thuds outside grew louder. Something large was walking toward them. The screen changed once more now, showing a digital outline of a mechanical figure. Council Combat UNIT Model H2 Prototype Specialization. Counter-human warfare was built using human tactics. To fight humans. The heavy footsteps stopped right outside the door. Rhea raised her weapon. Get ready. Then silence. A full minute passed. No breathing. No movement. Nothing. Jace moved closer to the door. Maybe it's... The metal door exploded inward with a loud roar. The machine stepped into the room tall, armored in dark alloy, moving like a perfect copy of a human soldier. It crouched low, then shifted into a sidestep pattern, exactly like the ones Rhea had taught military recruits. Years ago, Lara fired first 3 shots aimed at the chest. The machine spun behind a pillar in the exact, unpredictable motion humans were known for. Jace ducked behind a console. It fights like we do. No. Rhea whispered. It fought better. The machine leaped forward, its arm transforming into a kinetic blade. It swiped, slicing through a metal table like it was paper. Sparks showered the room. Rhea aimed at its joints, the one weak point in any mimic design. Target the knees. The machine dodged because it already predicted her order. Because the council had fed her past battle records. She fired again, hitting its shoulder this time. A small dent formed, but it did not slow the machine. Thought it advanced, unstoppable. But suddenly, the room lights flickered, and a different alarm echoed overhead. System override. Admin code applied. The machine froze mid-step. Blade inches from Rhea's face. Jace stared. What just happened? A new hologram appeared on the main screen. One message, sent from an unknown location. 3 words. I can help. Rhea stepped closer, heart pounding. Who are you? A second message appeared. A council insider. The one who first warned you. So the original leak wasn't a trap. Someone inside the council was fighting against this plan. Someone wanted the truth exposed. But if they could shut down the prototype from afar, what else could they do? A final message flashed on the screen. If you want answers, come to the core. The message ended. The machine powered down. The door reopened. Rhea led her team into the dark corridor again. Pulse racing. Whatever waited in the core, it was bigger than the band. Bigger than the experiments. Bigger than the war the council was planning. And now, someone inside the enemy was calling to her. The path to the station's core felt like walking into the throat of a sleeping monster. Commander Rhea Morgan moved carefully, her weapon raised, the glow of emergency lights flickering red across the metal walls. Every shadow looked alive. Every echo felt like footsteps from someone or something following behind her team. Lieutenant, Jace kept checking his scanner. Still no life signs. Nothing anywhere. That's impossible, Lyra whispered. Someone contacted us. Someone shut down that machine. Rhea didn't slow down. Whoever they are, they know this station better than we do. And they're watching us. The corridor ahead darkened as they approached a gigantic blast door. Marked core access. Authorized personnel only. The door was sealed, locked down with heavy magnetic clamps. Before Rhea could even touch the panel, the clamps released on their own. The door slid open. A cold wind rushed out, carrying a metallic smell that made the hair on Rhea's arms stand up. Inside was a massive sphere-shaped chamber, filled with layered bridges, glowing cables, and suspended data nodes. At the very center floated a huge crystal-like device, white and pulsing softly like a heartbeat. Jace stared upward. What is that? Lyra's breath trembled. It's a neural archive. That's not normal council tech. It's old. Very old. Rhea moved forward. Someone built this before the council even existed. Suddenly, the crystal brightened and a voice echoed across the entire chamber. Not a recording. Not a machine. A real voice. Commander Morgan. Welcome. Her team raised their weapons instantly, forming a protective circle. Rhea stepped forward. Show yourself. The lights shifted. A walkway above them lit up. And a lone figure walked out of the darkness. He wore a council scientist coat, torn and dirty. His hair was long and unkempt, as if he had been hiding in this station for months. His eyes were sharp, intelligent, and tired. He raised his hand slowly. My name is Dr. Lorian Vesk. I was a senior strategist for the council. Jace's jaw clenched. You're the one stealing human tactics. No. Lorian shook his head. I'm the one who tried to stop it. His voice broke slightly, and they tried to erase me for it. Rhea kept her weapon up. Then why leak the data to me? Lorian gave a bitter smile. Because you were the only person in the entire military who questioned the ban. The only one who didn't accept the council's lies. He moved closer to the glowing neural archive. This device is the reason the council wants human tactics. It predicted a future war. A war so big, the council thinks only human-style warfare can win it. Lyra frowned. Predicted? How can it predict anything? Lorian touched the surface of the crystal, and it responded with a pulse of light. This archive is not a machine. It's a living neural intelligence created by an ancient species. It sees patterns in the galaxy, patterns that lead to something catastrophic. The crystal glowed again, projecting images in the air. An enormous black swarm of machines drifting through space. Thousands, maybe millions. A hive mind consuming planets like dust. Jay stepped back, eyes wide. What is that? Lorian's voice dropped to a whisper. The Null Swarm, a machine race older than every council species combined. They are waking up near the galaxy's edge. The hologram showed them devouring a star. Ships, planets, everything vanished into the swarm. And the archive predicted. Lorian continued that when they arrive, the Council's armies will fail. Every normal species will lose. Rhea's heart pounded. But humans won't. Lorian nodded. The archive says humanity, because of your unpredictable minds, your chaotic tactics. Your instinct for survival is the only species capable of fighting them. Rhea's mind raced. So the Council banned our tactics to hide their research? Yes. Lorian's face darkened. They fear humans. They always have. But they also need humans. So they decided to take your strengths without giving you the truth. Rhea understood now. The ban was not about safety, it was about control. They think, Lorian whispered, that if humanity learns about the swarm, you'll rise to power. And the Council would rather die than share power. The chamber trembled, suddenly lights flickering. An automated voice echoed through the station. Security breach detected. Core lockdown activating. Lorian cursed. They found me. They're shutting everything down. Can we escape? Rhea asked. No, Lorian said. The lockdown traps the core inside a magnetic shield. The bridges began retracting, metal grinding loudly. Jace shouted, "We need to move now!" But Lorian held up a hand. Commander Morgan, before we go, you must know one more thing. He tapped the archive crystal. A final projection appeared. A battle one that hadn't happened yet. Humans on the front lines, fighting against the dark swarm. Human ships making impossible maneuvers. Human soldiers outsmarting machines that predicted every other species. Movements. And in the center of it, Rhea herself, standing in a command ship, giving orders that no machine could predict. Jace's eyes widened. Commander! That's you. Lorian's voice trembled. You are the key. The archive chose you. If the Council captures you, humanity loses its only chance. A violent alarm blared. Core lockdown 20 seconds remaining. The bridges were collapsing into the abyss below. Lorian stepped aside, pointing to a maintenance lift on the far end. Go. It leads to the hangar. I'll hold the lockdown off as long as I can. Rhea hesitated. Come with us. Lorian smiled sadly. Someone has to stay and keep the archive from falling into Council hands. Go, Commander. The galaxy needs you. The floor shook violently. Rhea made the hardest decision of her life. Team, move. They sprinted for the lift as pieces of the chamber fell away behind them. Rhea glanced back once, just long enough to see Lorian standing before the glowing archive, hands raised, fighting the system with everything he had. Then the lift doors closed. Darkness fell, and the core exploded behind them. The lift shot upward through the station's inner tunnels, shaking from the force of multiple explosions. Commander Rhea Morgan gripped the railing tightly as alarms blared above her head. Warning. Core failure. Total system collapse in progress. The voice echoed again and again, each time colder, more mechanical. Lieutenant Jace breathed hard, sweat running down his face. Lorian. He stayed behind. Rhea kept her gaze forward, jaw clenched. He bought us time. We're not wasting it. But the truth hurt. Lorian Vest, the hidden insider, The man who risked everything to expose the council's lies was probably dead now. Crushed under the collapsing core or wiped out by the security protocols he fought against. Ensign Lyra wiped her eyes quickly. He saved us. He saved humanity. Rhea didn't answer. Her throat was tight. There was no time for grief. The lift slowed, then slammed to a stop. Lights flickered overhead. Jace hit the panel. What happened? We're stuck. The screen displayed new words. Hangar access overridden. Emergency seal engaged. Lyra gasped. The council locked us in. Rhea knew what this meant. They would either die in here when the station collapsed, or be caught alive by council forces who wanted to silence them forever. No. She refused both outcomes. Blow the door, Rhea ordered. Jace blinked. Commander, that door is reinforced. Blow it. Jace didn't argue after that. He set 2 small charges along the edges, stepped back, and nodded. Rhea braced herself. Do it. The charges detonated with a thunderous crack. Smoke filled the shaft. The metal door bent inward, but didn't break. It weakened. Lyra shouted. One more blast. Jace planted the final charge. The second explosion ripped the door completely off its hinges, sending metal chunks flying. Behind it lay a narrow maintenance tunnel lit by dim blue lights. Move! Rhea shouted. They sprinted through the tunnel. The floor shook violently. More explosions echoed behind them. The entire station was falling apart. Jace looked over his shoulder. This place won't last another minute. They burst out of the tunnel into the hangar and froze. The entire hangar was filled with council soldiers, dozens, armored. Armed and waiting at their front stood a tall alien officer with silver skin and cold eyes. Commander Morgan, he said calmly, you will come with us. Rhea took 1 step forward, gripping her weapon. You banned our tactics. You stole them. Now you want to erase us. The officer tilted his head. Humanity is too dangerous to be allowed free will. You fight like chaos. You think like fire. And you inspire others to do the same. He raised a hand. Stand down. His soldiers aimed their rifles. Lyra whispered, terrified. Commander, we can't win this. Jace swallowed hard. There's too many. Rhea didn't blink. Maybe, but we don't have to win. She pointed toward the ceiling. A huge crack split through the metal structure, growing larger as the station continued. Collapsing. This whole station is about to fall apart, Rhea said. If you keep us here, you die with us. The officer's eyes narrowed. You are bluffing. Another explosion tore through the far wall, lighting the entire hangar with fire.